Dr. Wright, you counseled our students at Yale Divinity School today that, of course, it's important to look for the moments and the appropriate opportunities to create space for discussion with young people about sexual behaviors and sexual orientations. But you also were really clear, we need to understand that the related issues and important issues are much broader than those two, and we are unduly limiting ourselves if we only talk about those two. Well, what are the others, and what are the other things you think we should be lifting up?
So primarily because of the church debates that have happened across denominations, especially Protestant denominations, we've had a focus specifically around orientation issues. Sometimes that trickles down to conversations with kids, sometimes it makes us a little more aware, but it tends to be all they hear the church talking about. And then coupled with that, they'll hear things about marriage, and most times the only thing we're comfortable telling kids is don't have sex until marriage. So that's the one main message they get, which doesn't help them think about what marriage is really supposed to be about. What kind of healthy relationships do they want to be in now? What do good dating practices look like? Does anybody even date anymore? Having conversations that are about the real life experience of their sexuality is extremely important. And that first means we need to recognize that we are all sexual beings from birth till death. If God created us that way and God created our sexuality, then it's our responsibility to be educated about our sexuality and think about what God is calling us to be as sexually healthy people. That means we might think about how we experience or understand intimacy issues in our lives. What about sensuality? I mean, one of the main ways that we connect with God is through our senses. And one of the main ways we integrate our sexuality into our everyday lived experience is embodied senses. Being able to talk about how to do that, how to recognize it, how to be comfortable with it in appropriate ways is really important, especially for teenagers. And then we might think about the more concrete issues. What about sexual and reproductive health issues? Do our kids get enough information in just one lesson from the school that they go to? Or might we give them more extensive information about sexual and reproductive health in our own value set so they hear us saying it as well? Could we talk to them about sexual behaviors beyond just say no to sexual intercourse? What other sexual behaviors are they engaging in? How could we help them think through when they want to kiss someone? When is holding hands appropriate? There's all kinds of other behaviors we could be talking about and helping kids think through. And then lastly, we should spend time on gender identity and sexual orientation. There are ways in which many of our faith communities have harmed people around those issues, and there are ways that our faith communities are still struggling to understand issues of gender identity and sexual orientation. But running away from it makes it seem to teens like we either don't care or that we just don't have any answers. When in fact we have a lot to say about it, and it's okay to say we don't know the answers. It's a way to invite them into conversation about those issues rather than having it foreclosed or being driven by public debates.